Hello and welcome everyone to our day 3 of our 5-day masterclass, The Art of Selling. I am very thrilled. Nick and myself are very thrilled to have you back with us today. And we are here to serve you, support you, and uplift you on your journey to take your business to the next level. For those of you who are joining us brand new today, we would like to welcome you and congratulate you because your journey and your life will never be the same. We are sharing some phenomenal information with you this week that when you really pay attention and keep your mind open can literally change the course of your life and your business and your performance in your business. For those of you who have been with us since the beginning, since Monday this week, I want to congratulate you as well because your behavior shows your commitment. You have probably now learned and understood that your behavior is the result of what's happening in your subconscious mind and what you are really programmed with when it comes to your belief system, some of your habits, positive and negative, and most importantly, your self-image, your inner self-image. Today, we have another powerful session for you guys, and I cannot wait for you to share it with us. And what I want to also to say that we have received vast amount of questions from you. So what we have decided to do is to create a bonus session this Saturday at 12 p.m. UK time. A bonus session which will be dedicated only to your questions. So it's a Q&A bonus session which we're going to lead this Saturday at 12 p.m. UK time. So every question that you have been asking us this week and going forward will be addressed on this special session this Saturday. So today and going forward, please, if you have any questions, if there is anything that you feel you would like to have more clarification on, please put it underneath this chat box. Once again, for those of you who are with us on Facebook, this is the community where all the action takes place because you can really get involved and you can participate by answering our questions and also asking the questions you may have. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube or LinkedIn, once again, a warm welcome. And if you'd like to get more involved, please get in touch and join our private group on Facebook called The Art of Selling. So, right, guys, let's begin because today we have a lot more to cover up. Also, we have a very special announcement which I'm going to lead Nick to share it with you. So, Nick, I'll pass it on to you now, and thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Welcome all of you again. Thank you so much for joining us. It's amazing to see all of you back here again. So as Alex said, yeah, please just keep the chat box buzzing. Keep up with participation. It's really good. A lot of you have been asking us a lot of questions. So as Alex said, we have the bonus session on Saturday, which will be great. Now, before I do a recap of yesterday's session, I just want to have a feel of how you have embraced the last 2 sessions so far. So if you don't mind, let's start participating in the chat. If you can tell me or tell us #happy, that will be absolutely amazing. If you can do that for us, that'll be great. Just gives us some feedback so we can proceed. So recap of day 2. Now, you've heard it yesterday, self-image. We talked a lot about self-image. Maxwell Maltz, you cannot outperform your self-image. Your sales results or the results in your life come from your behavior and your behavior from your paradigm. So for the first time ever, for some of you, I'm sure you met the stick person that illustrate your mind or our mind, the 2 parts of our mind, the subconscious and the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is the powerhouse of our life. It dictates our behavior and therefore our results. Did you know that nothing happens to our body unless we give it direction? It's true. If we create order in our mind, we create direction. We can direct our attention to what matters, and therefore we can direct our results. Order is the heaven's first law. Now that you have an insight of where your results are coming from, let's start talking about fear, which Alex is going to cover in great depth in a minute. I will take some example. I'll take the example of changing your company, for example. I'm sure you've come across this. Now, whilst I'm talking, I would like you to engage with us. I would like you to let us know, whilst I'm talking, if you experience this. So if you have, hashtag experience would be good. So your boss announced a change in something in your company, a change in process, a change in product, whatever it may be, and suddenly everyone is fearful. Listen, I've worked with some organizations before where I've headed transformational work, and let me tell you something. It takes ages for the workforce to implement change in processes or product release, etc. If not done properly, people leave. People don't like change, they're fearful. We go to length, months, years maybe, to make change. It's called a company culture shift. Now, organizations spend millions sometimes to change their company culture, and a lot of the time they fail. I can tell you that, I can assure you that. We make a change, we embrace it for a bit, and then slowly what happens, our cybernetic mechanism takes us back to the original point, reinforces the idea that change is not good. That's the paradigm again. It's our habitual behavior. Another example in sales I'll give you. You get on that phone and you start prospecting. The first few days, you do really well. You manage a few sales and everyone's happy, you're buzzing, and suddenly what happens is things starts to change. The sales starts to drop. Your mind goes on overdrive. Why? Because your subconscious mind has been reprogrammed with the repetition of people saying no to you, or people giving you all the reasons in the world why they won't buy your product or services. And your subconscious mind is taking this as real. And what happens is your next phone call becomes a dud, the next one, and the next one, so on and so forth. If you make a sale, perhaps a few sales by luck. Now, who can relate to this? If you can, hashtag relate, please. If you want to make permanent change in your life, you have to change the way you perceive your reality. You cannot get better when you are ill if you continue to think that you're ill. How many of us have done this before? A slight sniffle and suddenly our minds wander. I'm catching a cold, I'll be ill. I don't feel very well. And before you know it, you are unwell. Your subconscious mind is giving you the reality that you have been thinking about. We don't blame anyone else or circumstances. We create the circumstances in our lives by thinking it. We're going to explore this in a bit more details today. Alex will continue to explore the mind with you today. And as I said, only when you fully understand and become aware of how your mind works, only then you can start shifting to a different zone and expect better results. Now, Alex talked about something special that I've got for you. In order for I will announce this towards the end, but I want you to join in with us, continue to participate, and I will announce that surprise for you later on at the end of the program. Okay, over to you, Alex.
Thank you very much, Nick. That was a great recap. And even though I've been studying this information for the past 6 years, I cannot get enough of it. And it's all through repetition. As some of you may know, it's the repetition that really helps you to get the right information into your subconscious mind. So then your behavior can be changed, and then that will change your results permanently. So today, Nick touched upon so many important parts of this information, of this topic. And I can tell you guys that this information has literally changed the course of my life about 5-6 years ago, where I had started to work with my mentor, Bob Proctor, personally. So I was personally taught and mentored and coached by Bob Proctor. And since then, he helped me to really bridge that gap between what I knew to then what I actually was doing. And we call it knowing doing gap. And knowing doing gap is something that each and one of us has. Why and how it happens, I'll explain it today during this session. And I remember before I was working with Bob Proctor, I was hugely interested in personal behavior, in human success, in my own personal success and professional success. So I had read and studied loads of books on human potential and development for probably about 7-8 years. And I absolutely loved it. I loved it, and I was thinking that I know it and I understand it. And one day things will just change for me, and that one day I will just wake up and I'll feel motivated, and then the right time will come for my success. The right time will come for all the changes. And what I was really missing was the understanding that it's not about really what I knew, but it was a lot about my paradigm, and that even though I've gathered information for all the 7-8 years of studying as a hobby, I did not really change my self-image, and I didn't really change some of my limiting habits and limiting beliefs. So now when it comes to selling, and when it comes to your own personal journey on towards increasing your income, taking your business to the next level, as Nick said, we have to learn and understand, if you really want to make a permanent change and you can go and live your life by design rather than by luck, you need to understand that there are certain laws that govern this universe and govern you. And if you don't understand these laws, maybe you've heard about them, maybe you haven't, but if you don't really understand them, the chances are that you are not working along with them, but against them. And when that happens, life becomes, and your results in sales and your business, very frustrating. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, and it's like a roller coaster. And that can be very, very destroying for your mental health, physical health, and your bank account. So today we really want to show you a couple of laws that govern this universe. So once you start understanding them and applying, you can actually create permanent changes in your results. So who would like to learn about one of the laws that can change the course of your business? If you would, please give me 2 thumbs up. And if I get a couple of thumbs up, we shall begin. So I'm just going to wait for some of you. Remember, guys, if you are an active participant today, if you ask questions, if you answer some of our questions as well, you will be in a draw of a very special prize we have for you. So please do participate, lean in, get rid of all the distractions for the next 45 minutes, because this can literally change the course of your business. So let's talk about the law of compensation. How many of you have heard before about the law of compensation? Because I would really like to know, where is your awareness right now? So the law of compensation, how many of you has heard of it? If you have, please put LOC, which is the law of compensation, LOC, if you have heard about the law of compensation and if you know what this law states. So the law of compensation will help you to take your business to the next level if applied properly. So what is this law about? The law of compensation clearly states that the amount of money you earn will always be in the exact ratio to the need for what you do, to your ability to do it, and then 3, the difficulty there is in replacing you. So 3 very simple action plans. Now, out of all the 3, all we have to focus on is your ability to do it. Because the need for what you do, I'm sure there is a huge need for what you do. Your product, your service, I'm sure there is a need, there is a demand for what you do. Unless you're selling a sand on a desert, maybe that's not a great business to be in. But this is just an example to kind of really get you think about your business. What do you do? And if there is a need for what you do, and I'm sure there is a need for what you do, the service you provide and the product you sell. So now, when it's about your ability to do it. So when you become a master at whatever you do, it will be very difficult to replace you. So number 3 will just take care of itself if you focus on number 2, which is your ability to do whatever you do. So how do you do it? It's something that you need to become aware of, your results and where is that you would like to be. Buckminster Fuller says something incredible. This is one of my favorite quotes. Never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. So if you look at perhaps your business and certain things that you think might not be working, instead of trying to fight that reality, trying to push it harder, work harder and do overtime, that's what majority of people are doing. This is what we have been programmed with. I have to push harder, I have to work harder. If we don't work hard enough, that means that we're not successful. This is also one of our beliefs that is not true. Because there's lots of beliefs we grew up with that we still believe and we try to apply into our life, and they are not true. One of them is also that if something is not working for you, trying harder will only give you a very incremental increase. If you keep trying harder, maybe you will get a little bit more sales, but in the end, it's going to lead you into exhaustion and being overwhelmed. So if you really think and feel and see that what you're doing is just not working, instead of trying to fight it, just change that strategy, the way you work, the way you think. So you have to build a new model that the old way of doing things becomes obsolete. And how do you do it? Now, this is a very tricky question, right? How do you make the new model obsolete? Well, first of all, you really have to start and think differently. Because your results right now are coming from your behavior. Your behavior is almost exclusively controlled by your paradigm. Paradigm, once again, is the multitude of habits, your belief system, and your self-image. Now, if what you do right now is not working, you need to change it completely, which means change the way you think about yourself and about your business and about potential that there is in your business. We've been saying this quite a few times this week already, that sometimes when a manager perhaps or a person that is your boss introduces a change, maybe they want to increase the targets, maybe they want to take certain changes and apply certain changes for the better results, our response, natural response, is resentment to that change, because that's how we react to a change. Nobody likes to be changed, and nobody likes that change because it's very uncomfortable. So this is something that we really have to understand, that in order for us to change our results, we have to change. We have to change our thinking, and we have to change our way that we perceive ourselves and that potential in our business. If you ever thought that you could double your income or triple your income in a relatively short period of time, would you say that it's possible? or would you reject that thought straight away? And your reaction right now to that thought, and I really want you guys to stop for a second and think right now. If I said to you, right now going forward, you can actually double and even triple your income going forward, and it's not going to cause you or cost you any more effort, would you accept this idea or would you reject it straight away? Many people reject that idea straight away because they say, well, that has never been done. Or, well, this means that I'm going to have to work a lot harder and I don't want to do this. So this is where change of perception comes in. This is where new thinking comes in. If you want to change your thinking, you have to think from new ideas. And those new ideas need to come from, first of all, understanding who you are and what you are and your ability to do what you do. So as you may remember, the law of compensation says it's all about the ability you do your business with. So when you focus on that ability that you do your business with, so you change certain way of doing by changing some of your belief systems, the limiting belief systems and the negative habits, then the results will change. But you have to do it so dramatically that part of you may not even believe it is going to happen. How many of you have been or is maybe trying to create those changes? How many of you is actually thinking that in order for my results to change, I need to change what I'm doing right now? So the old model becomes obsolete. It's completely different. How many of you is thinking outside of the box? It's not really about trying harder and working harder, but it's about completely changing the way you think about yourself and your business. How many of you? If you are that person who is completely trying to change the way you do things, please give me a huge emoji, like a big smile. This is what you're trying to do. This is maybe what you're working on as we speak, because this is what will create different results. The ability you do things. So let me just know, guys, because we would love to hear from you. And now, how do you change that thinking? Is literally to be open-minded that there is a different way. And I'm going to show you, we'll come back to the stick person later on, where it comes to your conscious mind and subconscious mind. And what's going to happen within your conscious mind and subconscious mind when you are introduced to a new idea that is not in harmony with your old belief system, what happens that belief system rejects that new idea. So when somebody says to you, you can double or triple your income right now, going forward, if your belief system is that it's only about incremental changes, you will reject that idea straight away. You will say, it's impossible, this has never been done before, it's not going to happen. And like Nick was saying, whatever you keep saying to yourself, whatever you believe, that's what creates your results. Because that's a part of your programming, that's a part of your, as you may remember from yesterday's self-image, and it's a part of your cybernetic mechanism, that's your set goal. And many people, we come from an education where it's all about that incremental increase bit by bit. Not many people and not many schooling systems teach us that we can double, triple our results in a relatively short period of time, creating quantum leaps. And creating quantum leaps, something we'll talk about tomorrow, is possible for you without you working harder. So this is a very different way of thinking. How many of you is thinking, yes, that's possible, I want to learn it? How many of you is actually rejecting this idea straight away, saying this is impossible, I don't think I can make it happen? Whatever you think right now is the reflection of your paradigm, of your belief system. And all we are asking you to be open-minded this week, because when you're open-minded, you can accept the idea that can change the course of your life. So before we go on to the stick person, I would like to bring Nick back on. And he will talk to you about the application of the law of compensation.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Alex. It's not necessarily about application. What I want to highlight here is that I'm aware that a number of you are in sales, and a number of you are perhaps not in sales. And if you remember correctly, when we start this workshop on Monday, and I was talking about who sells, actually everyone sells. We are all salespeople in our own rights, no matter what profession we're into. Sales happens when we're having a conversation. The question is, who's selling to who? One is selling an idea, and the other one is either accepting the idea or rejecting it. Sales is happening either way. Now, I want to take a very simple example, because this is going to create that shift in your head, in your mind, that will get you thinking. Because it's really important. I want you to pay attention to this. Children and toddlers are really good at this, and I'm sure if you have children, or you have nephew, nieces, you probably have come across this. I have used this as an example in many sales training program and managers coaching program that I've developed as standard. Kids, they come to their parents and say, "Mommy, Daddy, I really want this." I'm not talking about food items here. I'm talking about toys or something like that, or a gadget. And most of the time, the response would be probably, "Yes, we'll see. Why do you need this?" Or, "Have you done your homework? Have you tidied your room?" Or, "We can't afford it now, blah, blah, blah." Kid would go away, and they come back and say, "Mummy or Daddy, I know you said, but..." Who can relate to this? Who can relate to this scenario here? Hashtag agree if you can relate to this, because that's really important. Kids got a way of doing things that you need to observe, because if we replicate this, things is going to happen. You can change that behavior. And then finally, that kid would go on and on and on, and finally will come back and say, "So, Mommy, Daddy, if I do this or do that, would you at least think about it?" And 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes, right? I know some of you can relate to this, 100%. When I coach my salespeople, and if you join our program and we coach you, especially on the telephone, which incidentally is the most challenging channel to use, I develop one part that creates a connection with prospects. People buy people. You probably heard of this. Sell yourself, sell your idea that resonates with prospects. We will go into details on this on Friday, when we uncover the 6 steps to the path to agreement, the 7 steps. So, tune in, keep tuning in, because this is really important. I want you to think about this very hard, because this is important in changing the way you think about how sales happen, and how perhaps not just sales, but how you go about your business or about your work that you do, that will actually take you to the next level. Over to you, Alex. Can't hear you, Alex.
Thank you very much. So right. What we're going to do is we're going to continue the explanation of the law of compensation. And something that I really want you to also think about when it comes to your business and your day-to-day activities. And in order for me to help you to understand it, I would like to share with you with another law. And this is something that will also help you to understand how you are with relation to this law. So when it comes to selling a product or a service, selling is really a mind game. It's a mind game, nothing else. You may remember us stating that a lot of businesses, a lot of corporations spend an awful amount of time, effort, and money investing in strategies. However, the truth is that strategies only give you 5% of your results. 5%. 95% of your results in your business comes from your mindset. This is something that not many people are aware of. So I hope that now, when you really think about it, I hope you become open-minded to the point that instead of you spending the time and money on learning the strategy, you will actually spend the time and money learning about yourself and your mind and your self-image and the paradigm, which is the multitude of your habits and belief system. Because this is the only thing that can truly exponentially change your business. If it's your business, or if you're an employer and you want to really be successful in what you do, you need to be aware that selling is a mind game. 95% of your results right now, what you produce today, what you've produced in the past few days, months, and years, comes from your mindset. You may remember from today and our sessions this week that your actions control your results. Your actions, so your behavior, everything that you do on a daily basis, from the moment you wake up till you go to bed, that is controlled by your actions, right? That's pretty obvious. So what majority people do is when they want to change, they try to force the behavior. In corporations, we are being sent for trainings. We're being told what to do. We observe other people's behavior and we say, this is what they're doing. We have to copy it, but this is not a primary cause of the results. Even though action control your results, there's something a lot more powerful than behavior. And this is about the primary cause of results, and it's your paradigm. Your paradigm, which is once again the multitude of habits and belief system and your self-image, controls most of your actions. So instead of going for the second cause of the result and forcing that behavior, which only gives you a very short period time of the shift of results, it's never a permanent change. That's why in corporations, and for many people who have the teams that they work with, this is very, very confusing because they can't understand what's happening. We give everything we can to our team, to our people in our organization. We invest this time and money to tell them what to do, to give them direction, to support them as they think, as they believe. Yet there is a huge gap between what we know and what we actually do. And we can bridge that gap with the understanding of this topic, that your paradigm is all about the primary cause of the results, and it's about your belief system. It's about that cybernetic mechanism that is controlling your behavior. So when you want to change your paradigm, and if you change your paradigm, so when you observe your behavior, you'll know exactly what you're doing, your habits. Are you a procrastinator or are you an action taker? That's a habit. Okay, so you need to really observe it. You have to be very honest to yourself. If you're not honest to yourself and you just say to yourself that, well, I'm very busy and I do everything I can, are you really? And what are you busy with? What are those activities day to day that you're busy with? Are you busy with hiding behind a computer and just replying to emails? Are you busy with picking up that phone and hoping that they will not pick up? Because that takes a lot of thought, That takes a lot of energy to be hoping that, oh my gosh, I hope this person will not pick up. Oof, I've tried, but they just didn't pick up. So I've done it. I've done my bit for today. That will not create the results you want, but you're making those results because of your paradigm, because you believe that, on the other end of this phone, there's somebody that does not want your help. That's a belief as well. The truth is the opposite. There is a high demand for your service and your product. And it's all about the ability you do it with. But in order for you to shift that ability, you need to change your thinking. You have to shift your confidence. You need to shift your belief in yourself, in your ability. And you can only do it by studying yourself, by understanding your beautiful and powerful mind, and start unleashing the true power within yourself. That's the only way that you can change your paradigm. That's the only way that you can change that thinking that is literally sabotaging your success. You've got an incredible opportunity every single day to make that day successful. But if your thinking and your hopes are for not speaking to that prospect, this is what you're creating. And it shows in your bank account every single month. And that is you doing so unconsciously or consciously. You may not even be aware of it. And majority of people are not aware of it, that you are sabotaging your success. Part of you wants to do something. Consciously, you want to be successful. Consciously, with your educated thinking mind, you want to do better. But subconsciously, that paradigm is dragging you back. It's holding you in that safe place, that comfort zone, because it just feels so good, right? But it's not going to create that success. So selling is definitely a mind game. Nothing else but the mind game. Your mindset creates 95% of your results. So in order for you to sell by law, not by luck, you need to be open-minded to learn about yourself and your true abilities, and you need to understand that you have this cybernetic mechanism within yourself that you need to start shifting. Because if you're not going to start shift that paradigm, it doesn't matter what incredible strategy you will be using. It doesn't matter how much time and money you invest in that strategy. It doesn't matter what sort of marketing tools you're using. None of this matters. Trust me, guys, it's really not about the marketing. It's not about the strategies, because that only creates the 5% of your success. It's all about right here. It's the thinking. It's the belief systems. It's the habits. Do you procrastinate the important tasks of the day and you're busy with emails perhaps, or admin stuff, or making your desk look beautiful with all the paperwork? I don't know, I'm just making this up right now. But whatever you're busy with, we can be very busy with and non-productive activities. So in order for you to change it, you literally have to be honest with yourself. You need to ask yourself the question, where I am right now. And what do I do on a daily basis? If I say to myself that I'm very busy, what am I really busy with? What do I do since the moment I start work till the time I finish it? What do I actually do within those 5, 6, 7 hours? And you will see step by step, what do you actually do? Because many people live in a denial, and your paradigm, your subconscious mind will accept anything you pass it on to it. So if you feed yourself that little lie that you're very busy with every single day with your activities, you actually, through the repetition of that, you will start it yourself, because you've come up with that excuse. So automatically you'll believe in it. I am very, very busy. But why some people are very successful selling the same product in the same company and some people are not? Why? Have you ever asked yourself this question? It's not because they've got something you don't have. It's not because they're smarter. Being smart or being educated, highly educated, has nothing to do with your results. And what I'm going to present it to you now, I'll prove it to you that it doesn't matter what you know, how much education you've had, because knowing has nothing to do with what you actually do. This law that we talk about right now is the cause and effect, and is the law of laws. And this is something that Emerson said, a very smart guy. Now I'm going to show you a quick diagram here, and we'll be back with our stick person for a little bit. The yellow is organized education system, something that each one of us grew up with. Hence, we have a strong belief in it. The white color is the primary cause of the result. So this is really what's happening within your mind. So those, as you can see, this is a stick person. As you may remember it from our workshop Monday and Tuesday, and this represents each and one of you. Those 5 antennas are your sensory factors. So you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. These are your sensory factors. This is how you are connected to the physical world, and they are very useful. So now, because of your sensory factors, you hear the information. So you've been sent to a training. You hear, you've learned, you're hearing what you're being taught, right? And through our educational system, this is how we gather information. We hear something, we gather information all the time. From the first day at school, we gather information from the first day at school throughout our high school and university, and even any corporate training. We gather information, we hear it, we read it, we read many books, we gather information. And this organized education system made us believe that if we hear something, if we gather information, that it must mean that we know it. It must mean that we know it. And also what's expected is once you know it, then obviously you will do it, right? And why is it believed that we know it? Well, very simple, because you are given an exam. So at every school, you're given an exam. You fill out the questions. You get 100%. Wonderful. You know it. You're the best. A+ student. Fantastic. Well done. You must be very successful in life because you have so much knowledge. Now, what's really happening is, the truth is that even though you might have read tons of books, you have few degrees, it does not mean that you actually know it. Because the real learning, the learning that we talk about here in our education, here in our mindset education, is when you hear it, doesn't mean that you actually know it. When you listen to something, then you learn it. And you can only listen to something when you are emotionally involved with it, because we truly listen and remember the information when we get emotionally involved with it. This is when true learning is happening. Learning that is then affecting your behavior and creates results. The true learning happens when you listen. And conscious mind, which is your educated mind, has literally nothing to do with your action, because your subconscious mind has everything with what you do. And that subconscious mind, when you listen to something because you're emotionally involved with it, this is when your behavior is exclusively controlled by your subconscious mind, which is your paradigm. And this is what actually creates your results. How many people, how many of you have come across, maybe you're one of them as well, have come across people who are highly educated, people who could give you answer to any question. They come across very knowledgeable. But when you get to know them, they're not as productive as you would have hoped for. They're not as successful, and they're not creating the results you would have expected them. but they know so much, but they not do what they know. That's why there is a knowing doing gap. Knowing doing gap because the knowing happens in your conscious mind. You know it with your intellectual mind, but your intellectual mind once again has nothing to do with your behavior. True learning comes when you listen, and you can only listen when you're emotionally involved, because this really controls your behavior, and this is where your results come. How many of you come across people who might not be highly educated, maybe don't have a higher degree? Yet again, they could be business owners or of great corporations and so on. We even have few famous people who actually did that. Dropped the higher education, went straight into business. They're super successful. And this is very confusing. This has been confusing for me because I grew up believing if I am well educated, then I'll get a great job. If I get a great job, then I'll be very successful at what I was doing. And then obviously financially, I will be rewarded. So I did all of that, and I was not creating the results I had expected. And that happens in our organization, where you're sent for a training, you're being given information, you're being told exactly what to do, you are given even a list to do. You maybe even give yourself a list to do because you know what to do. You just know what to do. But because there is a gap between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, you are not doing it. So we can bridge that gap. How can we bridge that gap? Once again, you need to be open-minded to it. You have to learn this information that there is a gap between what you know and what you actually do. It's going to help you in life massively, because you'll never judge people by their education. You'll judge people by their action. This is the real deal. And you then, when you're open-minded to it, you then can look at your results, see where you are, then decide where you want to be, observe your behavior by knowing and understanding that your behavior is actually the reflection of your subconscious mind. Then you will know and understand that the only way for your subconscious mind to be changed is when you change your paradigm. So something that we are talking about this week. So I'm just going to get rid of these slides. Just 1 second, please. Right. So once again, guys, it's for you to be open-minded, be honest with yourself, where you are, be honest with your day-to-day activities, observe your behavior. Think about what you do, because whatever you do is the reflection of your subconscious mind, your beliefs and habits. Huge deal. Once you are aware of it, once you are honest with yourself, then you can start changing those habits. The change is a process. It's a step-by-step formula, something we'll share with you on Friday. And then once you decide to take action towards that process, you'll start shifting your behavior, because you have shifted some of your beliefs and some of your habits. And at the same time, your self-image will be shifted as well. So, Nick, I'm going to bring you back on right now. Okay.
Thanks. I think we need to apologize to our audience. I think your slides wasn't showing. You were talking, but there were no slides. So apologies.
No. Is it
yeah,
no,
yeah, thanks for bringing me back. Really powerful stuff. Again, it's amazing, this information that we're sharing over the course of this week. Now, you know, I don't know whether you mentioned it, earning money from sales has very little to do with money at all. You know, I think, I don't know whether you mentioned that, but I've been studying that part that you mentioned, Alex, about decision making. Mm-hmm. And it is true, you know, quick decision makers are very effective people. And the quicker you make decision and you stick with your decision, the better you get and the better results you get. And I'm sure tomorrow and Friday we'll talk about this. Selling is not something you do to a person, but it is something you do for a person. And to me, that is the be all and end all of all selling that goes on.
Absolutely. So yes, so basically when it comes to that shift, when it comes to the ability to raise our ability to really become a master at what we do. What I have learned is something that is also not always easy for people, because first of all, people are not aware that it's all about their own mindset. They think it's the external factors, it's the economy, it's the employer perhaps, it's somebody else, but it's not me. And I think a huge lesson that I've learned is when you take responsibility for your action and yourself, and when you start working on yourself rather than blaming everyone around you, this is where everything starts changing around you. Because you might not believe it, you might still fight it within yourself, you might still be blaming something else, but we're telling here, we're literally giving you a shortcut to your success, and we're trying to help you to understand that everything is done by the law. And the laws of the universe are laws that work the same for everyone. Nature doesn't care who you are, where you come from, what you've done in the past. It just cares how you are today, and is the reflection of your thoughts. It's a reflection of your belief system. So your world around you is the reflection of who you really are. And the quicker you understand it, the quicker you take that responsibility for yourself, and you understand that it's literally not the economy, not somebody else, but you'll start then working on yourself, getting to know yourself better, getting to know how truly amazing and powerful you are. And like my mentor Bob Proctor used to say, when you really get to know yourself, how incredible you are, you'll then start creating the results you want by design, not by luck. And when you truly start to get to know yourself, you will literally, as he says, kiss yourself, because life will begin to be incredibly good.
Yeah, I resonate with that, Alex, because 4 months ago, before I started the program, life was just plodding along, but when I joined this program and I've embraced this, my whole life has changed. My family's life has changed. My kids' life has changed. It's a whole plethora of things in my life has changed, and for the better, I might add. I'm now looking forward to my ultimate goal. We're working on it, and it's great. And it's great. Life cannot be better.
Absolutely beautiful. So I guess this is from us for today. But before you go, guys, we have a couple of announcements. So why don't you go first, Nick, to announce the wrap up?
Yeah, everybody has been waiting. Onto the surprise. So if you have participated with us throughout this week, and you've attended 3 out of 5 days, so whether you've done live or you've done the replay, you've watched it on replay, and you've engaged with us, and because so far, guys, I'm really, really proud of this. So far, a lot of you have been participating, and I have decided to give you 4 weeks worth of sales service coaching, totaling 2 hours worth in total. And I hope that will make a difference. And all we want is, for me personally, is want to pass more information on to you and to make this worthwhile for you and to help you in your journey. So I will give you 4 weeks worth of sales service coaching, totaling 2 hours for yourself, whether you're in sales or you're in service, it doesn't matter. And I will do that for you free of charge.
I think it's incredible, and I think it's such an amazing gift. Very generous. So what we're going to do, we're going to announce the winner on Saturday, right? Probably after our Q&A session. So we still have a couple of sessions to go. So if you began with us today, you still have the time to participate in it, because we have 2 more sessions to go. So it's a minimum of 3 sessions where you are active, where you are participating, and basically just, give us your good energy. So I just wanted to wrap up quickly today's session and let you know what you can expect tomorrow. So once again, guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you so much for your attention and for your precious time. We appreciate it greatly, and we're very grateful to be having this chance and opportunity to share with you this phenomenal, life-changing information that literally has changed my life 5-6 years ago, and as Nick said, is changing his life as we speak. And today we talked about to raise your ability to do whatever you do. So as a homework, I would like you to write down 3 activities that you believe will be productive activities in your business that will actually contribute to doubling that income, to raise your income, to raise yourself to the person you really want to become. So I'm sure you know what they are, because as you know what to do. We just have to bridge that gap from between knowing and doing. So I'm sure you know what they are. So really take the time to think about 3 most productive activities. Replace those activities with a non-productive activity, something that probably everybody's day is filled with. And when you replace those non-productive activities with 3 productive activities, we can promise you that your results will be much better. So when you do so, please just write it down in your notebook for yourself and commit yourself to apply them as we go. Now, today, this is it from us. Tomorrow we'll be back at 7 p.m. UK time, and we have another incredible topic for you: how to create quantum leaps in your results without further effort. So I absolutely love it.
I'm absolutely looking forward to this one because this is incredible. So yes, guys, just tune in. It's going to be great.
Thank you so much once again for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.